Guess what? It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for In the Kitchen with Miss Paula Harmonica Mama. We'll have lots of fun. See ya. Well, hello again. Now, we are going to make macaroni and cheese today. I'm getting ready to go to a celebration of life with one of our church members, and everybody else is bringing cold dishes, so I decided to make something warm. So the first thing that we need to do is get a pot of water boiling. So I have that going on right here. Well, there it is. Okay, so to that, I'm going to add almost 2 pounds of macaroni. Tell you, celebrations of life can be difficult, and this lady is a dear lady. She's surely very truly going to do that. She actually helped take care of Bernie's wife that passed away, and put the whole thing in there. And then after she passed, don't you love this spoon? She ministered to Bernie by being his substitute mom, and I know he's really going to miss her. So we will just let this macaroni cook, and we'll be back with you in just a little bit, and I'll get the stuff out I need to make the cheese sauce that's going to go in the macaroni. All right, our macaroni is ready. It is all nice and fluffy and bubbly. There you go. Okay, now I am going to move the camera here because I'm going to take it over here in the sink, or by the sink. I have a strainer down there, of course. And I'm going to strain my macaroni right with you. Sorry, Dexter. Okay, so let's just dump this down in here. That used to be an old, oh shoot, pressure cooker. I still have the lid, but I don't have a little pressure cooker thing. I've had that forever and ever, I do believe. Okay, so I'm just going to put the macaroni back in this kettle. Yeah, let's do this. There we go. Yeah, we'll just put it back in this kettle. And try not to make too big of a mess. There we go. Okay. Cool enough. Now, I'm going to throw in, whoops. Tried to sneak under there. I'm going to throw in a stick of butter. And where'd my little spoon go? Okay, here we go. I'm going to throw in a stick of butter here and stir it up. I'm going to set it back over on the stove and just let it chill. Sort of, yeah. Let it chill. Just let it sit there until I get the cheese sauce made, or finish making the cheese sauce. So, give us a second here. Well, let's get ready to make the cheese sauce for this. Now, I'm going to start with making a roux. So, here we go. Okie dokie. I'm going to put some butter in the pan. And I'm going to use it on the large burner, and I'm going to turn up for high for just a second. And in the meantime, also while I'm here, I am going to preheat my oven, and I think I'm going to do this at about 375. Okay. So I've got my butter melting here. Now, I am not going to use my whisk today again because I have a little Teflon pan that I'm using, and it would be, I don't want to use my wire whisk in it. So one of these days I'm going to get around to getting some more whisk and getting some of the plastic ones. I'll stir this around a little bit while the butter is melting, just to kind of help the distribution of heat. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we're ready to start putting in the flour. Get the salt and pepper stuff out of the way. Okay, gonna set this down for a second here. And I'm going to start out with about 4 tablespoons of flour. This little measure is about 2 tablespoons. I am a sloppy stirrer sometimes. Just a secret with doing this is just to keep stirring and kind of smash out those lumps. And I do believe I'm going to add a little bit more here. There's another 2 tablespoons. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. Just keep stirring here. Now, I don't have a fancy videographer with me today, but I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. All right. We've got this going over here. I think I'm going to go with this. I think this will be just right. All right. So now, I move my flour out of the way. I have warmed up a cup of milk. I put it in the microwave for about 25 seconds. I don't need it to boil, but like I've said before, when we're doing a roux, it helps to have your liquid that you add to it a little bit warm. But I may have to add some more, or warm up some more rather. See how this does. I'm going to turn this down. Yeah, I am. I probably should use my 2-cup measure, right? All right, I've heated up another cup of milk. Got my screen door, or a screen door that doesn't have a screen in it. It just has glass and it's squeaking in the background. It didn't get shut all the way. The wind is picking it up and making it creak. I'm not home. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Well, my oven's heated up. Turn this down a little bit more again. I'm just going to let that warm up a little bit there. It's got that almondy smell to it now. So I'm going to start adding the cheese. And as I add the cheese, I'm also going to add some more liquid, but this time I'm going to add a little bit of warm water. Cheese is melting in there pretty good. And let's add some more. Each one of these handfuls is probably like about 3/4 a cup. Now I am feeding quite, and we're expecting around 40 people. So I'm actually going to cook this off in 2 casserole dishes. I'm taking my fancy ones that I can put the little heated pack in the carrying case and carry it over there. We've got to head out a little bit early, just to help get things set up. Of course, once I get it to church, I can always stick it in the oven. But in the interim, it can stay warm while we're traveling to the church to do this. It'll stay nice and warm. It takes us about 30 minutes or so to get from our house to the church, and we've got to make a couple of stops beforehand. So we're putting in a little bit more water. Yeah, Miss Lou is certainly a jewel. She used to always tease me. She would give Bernie a peck on his cheek and leave a lipstick mark on it. She used to tease me about getting jealous that she was kissing on my husband. Nah, not a bit. Okay. I think I may need to add a little bit of Lowry salt here. Just gonna shake that up. And look at that bubble. I got some pepper. And I'm gonna add another handful of cheese. I think I'm just going to end up putting this whole pound of grated cheese in here. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Well, yeah, I'm going to use the rest of this water. Let's see how that goes. But I kind of have an idea and a hankering to maybe add a little bit of half and half. So let me pour this in here. And see how this does, consistency-wise. I have to remember to keep this skillet or whatever I'm using to cook with exactly on the eye. Otherwise, it cooks really unevenly. And that's especially important when I am making like any kind of meat or eggs, almost anything like that. I'm just going to put the rest of this cheese in here. Chase that little piece of cheese around. I don't think I'm going to have to add any more liquid. I think this is going to be perfect. Oh. Now I am going to have to get some more cheese out because when I put in the casserole dishes, I'm going to want some grated cheese on top of it. All right. I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to do some double spooning here. I'm going to scrape that off. Okay. Let's switcheroo our pots here. Okay, so I'm bringing this one back over, and I'm just going to pour this cheese sauce in here. Let me do a little bit of scraping here. I'm going to set that over on the cutting board, not on the stove, because this whole area has a tendency to get hot and stay hot for a while. So I'm just going to mix that cheese sauce in there. Oops. Yeah, and I'm going to have to pull my stove out and sweep between that again. I think this time when we pull it out, I'm going to see if we can't get the stove a little bit closer to the counter. Jiminy Christmas, look at how sloppy I can get. Add the rest of this. All in there, as much as I can anyway. tell you what, oh, Bernie must be coming back. He went out to run an errand. You can build some muscle stirring stuff up like this. Kind of feel on the strain a little bit. All right, I'm going to add another ingredient to this. I have a couple of containers of sour cream open, so we're going to put in a little bit of sour cream. It kind of adds a little bit of extra flavor here. All right, thank you, babe. Thought we might need a little bit of cash maybe this evening. We want to do something afterwards or something, so he ran out to get some cash. All right, let's get that stirred in there good. More and add sour cream to my shopping list. Actually, I may have to pick some up before I do my regular shopping because I'm doing a Mexican dish Saturday night. So yeah, and I would want sour cream with it. Get ready to put it in the pan and get some of our more grated cheese and put it on top of it. Well, put it in some casserole dishes. All right, there we go. Okay, now I have over here, I have my 2 casserole dishes, and I have prepared them with a olive oil pan. So they are greased up there a little bit. I'll do a little bit more mixing on in the casserole dish here. I thought this might be safer than trying to pour it in. I'll move this over just a little bit closer. That way I may not spill as much in there. Yeah, so we'll bring you just a little bit closer here. There we go. Oopsie. My name should have been Marvin. They could have called me Messy Marvin, you think? Whoa! Well, that was not clever, was it? Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. I think that was pretty full. I'm going to do one more scoop in there. Get it in all the corners there. Okay, guys, trade places here. I do believe that I am building some muscle here today. Whoops, see? Even though I'm closer. I'll have to do that when we get done here. Now, this is a little bit lighter. I'm going to try it this way now. Here we go. There goes that silly door again. Okay. There we are. Well, there you go, Bernie. We just leave that door open, maybe. I think we got a little bit more light on the subject here.
Well, you want it open?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we have our little casserole dishes here. And I have some more cheese here. When I don't use all my block of cheese, I like to stick what's left over in a Ziploc bag. All right. So we'll just grate some cheese on top of here. I think I'm gonna bake it, let's see, for right around an hour or so, just till the cheese everything gets nice and bubbly, and the cheese gets all like nice and melted. Okay, now I'm gonna have to open another package of cheese here. Sometimes wonder people that invent this wrapping stuff to keep the bad guys out. Ever think about how old people are going to try to get into it? Whoops. All right, a little bit more right there in that corner. On this one. You know, I think it's easier if I just do it on the cutting board. I can do it maybe a little bit faster because I got stable on it. Yeah, there we go. It's always a little bit harder to grate cold cheese. I didn't plan ahead and set this cheese out before I grated it. But I have discovered that if I leave it out for an hour or so, it gets softer and it's a little bit easier to grate. Cheese is one of my favorite foods. I like pretty much of them all. I'm not real crazy about Limburger. Actually, I don't know. I don't even think I've ever even actually smelled it. I've just heard that it smells really bad. I don't care a whole lot for blue cheese. But I like all kinds of cheddar. You know, I like it mild, like regular, and I like it extra sharp, and I like it sharp. My dad was a big sharp cheese fan. He liked to melt sharp cheese, cheddar cheese, on top of a piece of apple pie. And also, Mom was like, she made sweets and stuff like that for us, but she didn't like to have it laying around. You know, she was kind of a, you know, we was looking out for healthy foods kind of thing. So quite often, we didn't have any cookies or candy or cake laying around the house. And my dad would get a hankering for something sweet. So he would fix this little dish, and we named it Ika Ikaho. My sister had a stuffed snake, multicolored snake kind of thing that she had named Ika Ikaho. And he took a slice of white bread, put several slices of cheddar cheese on top of it, and then poured syrup on top of that. And he liked it. It was, I wasn't real crazy about it. I took a couple of bites now and then, but I was just really not that crazy about it. Okay, let's get ready to put this in the oven. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Ready to go. Be back with you when we take it out. Bye-bye. All right, let's check it out here. I do believe they're going to look and be quite yummy. All right, there's one. And I'm going to set it over here, my little trusty carry pack. And I've talked to you about them before. Here in a second, I'm going to throw the lids on, and I'm going to put the hot pads in the microwave real quick. And we'll get packed up and ready to go. So, have a wonderful week. Talk to you later.